Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. You may see that I'm not wearing a watch today. Well, actually, all my watches, or most of them, are right in front of me. And today I'm going to do the 2019 State of the Watch Collection. I'm going to show you what's in my collection predominantly, what I wear, and I'm going to talk a little bit about each watch. Now, of course, before we get started, check out delraywatch.com. A whole bunch of new cool watches came in stock. Breguet Type 20 on a bracelet. A very rare Eberhard with an enamel dial and an 8-day manual wind movement in yellow gold. Not to mention one of the cheapest yellow gold watches I've ever seen available on the website. A Grand Seiko Blizzard dial also making its way. And we've got a Sea Dweller 4K in service, which should be hitting the website as well. That's at delraywatch.com, link in the description below. So yeah, guys, I've been collecting watches for about 10 years. Watches have been my life. And the last time I made a State of the Collection video was in 2015, and generally I don't sell a lot of my collection, I don't flip a lot, but this year I overhauled quite a few pieces. I bought a few pieces, I had to sell a few pieces to upgrade some watches. In fact, I still have my IWC for sale, my vintage collection Ingenieur box and papers. If you guys want to see that, once again, delraywatch.com. So I'm not including that in my State of the Collection because it is leaving the collection, but I figured, in no particular order, we could just kind of talk about what I have. We have my Ming, my smallest watch, 38 millimeters. This was made in a very small amount, 1,000 pieces, high polished titanium, a micro brand that has now become an independent, almost high horology brand with their new offerings. Very rare watch. I don't wear it a lot. It's a little small, it's dressy, but this is never leaving the collection just because, well, I'm not going to say never, but for now it's never leaving the collection because I just love the design so much. And this one I added this year. Next, we go into, I was going to say my only chronograph, but nope, I have one more. My Speedmaster Apollo 14 Limited Edition. Limited to 150 pieces. This was one of the first watches I ever bought. A colleague of mine actually found it in a New York City bus, and then, he offered to sell it to me, and of course, I grabbed it. One of the few truly limited edition Speedies at only 150 pieces. Not very well known, not a very well-known limited edition Speedmaster, but the Apollo 14 is basically a classic Speedmaster Professional with that little mission patch, and I really love it. Next is a watch I bought this year, and I really, really enjoy it. It is the Gerard Perrigo Laureato Evo 3. In-house GP 3300 movement with a power reserve, moon phase, and big date module. Integrated bracelet, very Gerald Genta-esque, one of the most underrated designs ever made by one of the most underrated brands ever out there. I mean, guys, this is true hot horology. It's up there with the likes of Patek Philippe, in my opinion, in terms of finishing, and the price is about a tenth, even less. It's about a 20th of a Nautilus. Yes, the Nautilus has prestige, and this will hold nowhere near as much value, but horology-wise, it is absolutely there. Then we have my last year's birthday present to myself. That is my Rolex Submariner Hulk. This was my most worn watch until a GP came in. I still love it to death. It's a Rolex, it's a Submariner, but the green makes it stand out a little bit. And I am a little bit of a hard-to-get whore. I love things that are hard to get. This is certainly getting harder to get, and what can we say? It's a Hulk. Next is a watch I've owned 3 times in my collection, and I just got it for the 3rd time. A Rolex Pepsi GMT 16710. I love to travel. I needed a GMT watch in my collection. I love the old style Rolexes, even though the bracelet, listen to that, is a little bit chintzy in these models. It's a classic watch. What's not to love? It was my first true Grail watch. Then we have the watch I bought for myself for my 30th birthday this year. That is the H. Moser and Seija Endeavor. Rose gold, big date, 8-day power reserve, manual line movement with the Moser teeth, the Straumann hairspring, 40, I believe just under 42 millimeters, fits me like a glove. This is my highest end watch. Funnily enough, it's probably worth significantly less than the Hulk, but this is my highest end watch. This is my Watch Geek watch. Hand finished. They make, I think, less than 1,000 watches a year, or maybe 1,500 watches a year. A true hot horology piece, and I love the brand Moser. I love what they represent. I love the guys that work there. They don't take themselves too seriously, and I really, really like that because they're making a serious product. I don't know, it just really resonates with me. Next, we have one of the oldest watches in my collection, and that is my Radiomir Black Seal Panerai manual line movement. This is the watch I probably wore the most between 2008 and 2010 on a beautiful alligator strap. I'm a big Panerai fan. Yes, I know that's controversial. Not everybody loves the brand, but at 45 millimeters manual wind, this just looks right at home on my wrist. It's, at a 6497 modified, so it's a solid movement. Nothing too fancy, but I just love the styling. Moving next is one of the watches. It's my first ever mechanical watch I bought with my own money, and it is a Rotary, the inexpensive British brand. This houses an ETA 2824 undecorated in copper. I was working for Cartier at the time, and the look of this watch very much reminded me of Cartier, a watch I really couldn't afford, but I was extremely proud to have that job. So I bought it for myself with my first paycheck. I think I paid $250. And yeah, I haven't worn it in 5 years, but it's always in my watch box. I love it. Then we have my Panerai Luminor 111, the most iconic and classic Panerai, see-through case back. This one has to go in for service. I've had it for a long time. God, it's got a lot of battle scars. This thing's really been beat up. Never been polished, though. I don't know. I've certainly fallen out of love with this watch, but I can't see myself ever parting with it just because of the role it's played in my life. I'm always going to be a Paneristi. Next is a watch that I bought because of YouTube and I absolutely love, a Seiko SKX. Mine keeps awful time, about 30 seconds a day. The bracelet is the chintziest thing ever, but it's my beater watch. It's a watch with a ton of personality. I obviously love the Pepsi color scheme. It's a watch that I wear a lot when I travel because I don't care if I lose it or if I break it. $200, I can just get a new one. But it does get way more wrist time than it should considering the other watches in my collection. I really love this Seiko. It's not going anywhere. And then last is a little bit of a weird purchase. I got it because I got a great deal, and that is a Breitling Chronomat Evolution. 3 millimeters, extremely shiny, Valjoux 7750 chronograph. Never wore it a ton. I just, it never kind of suited my style, but I do like the watch. I like the way the case is finished. I love the panda dial. I love the numerals. It's a watch that every so often I miss, and I put it on my wrist for a couple weeks, and then it goes back into the watch box for 6 months. I just, listen, it's not worth a lot. I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of it. It's just a fun little watch that I got while I was working at Vempe. I think this was just being discontinued when I bought it. I got a great deal on it. It's just, tried and true 7750 movement, and I don't have another one in my collection. And guys, I also have a few vintage watches, a couple of pocket watches, and my Swatch System 51, which I forgot at home for making this video. But this is pretty much my collection. Mainly steel sports watches, 2 chronographs, my Moser, a couple of Panerai. This is kind of how my collection has evolved. What's next? I'm not really sure. I don't have a system. I just kind of buy what I like. However, I have to say I'm very, very pleased, and all these watches mean something different to me, either aesthetically or emotionally. They tell a story. It's hard for me to sell my watches. I sold my Tourneau, I'm selling my IWC, I sold my Brellam, I sold my Atlantic Worldmaster, I sold my Panerai Daylight Chronograph. It's hard. it is hard because I create emotional attachment to things. But if I want to buy other things, having so much money tied up in watches just isn't great financially, so you've got to make those decisions. Anyway, guys, that is my collection in 2019. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really helps me out, and don't forget to subscribe. Guys, thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.